with my nieces, and for some reason Harry Potter is always on, and I was watching one of the first ones, and the digital stuff looked like crap. Like for some reason stuff looks good at first when you see it, but you give it like, it does not age well. You give it a year or two and you're like, dude, that looks like a cartoon, like what's going on? But then you go and you watch movies from the 80s or just, anything that's got practical effects in it, and you're like, holy crap, it still holds up really well. Like I don't like, yeah, exactly, like The Thing. Like you watch those effects that are insane and they still hold up really well. They don't look, of course you got like really cheesy ass people who were horrible at what they were doing in the 80s, and those are funny, but like the people who were really innovative and doing amazing stuff, I mean, that stuff still holds up today. Okay, this is almost there. So once this dries, the other layers under here are pretty much dry, but once this is dry, then I know we're good to go, and we can take this out of here and I can show you guys. Okay, that's pretty much it.
Now this plaster mask that you're making, you will be able to use that over and over again.
Yep.
To make things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, eventually all this will wear out. Again, like if this is like for foam latex, it'll wear out a lot faster because it's going in an oven. It needs a release agent on it. So that tears at it. But for straight latex, this thing will last for a while. All right, I don't think there's much else I can do with this. Yeah, I don't know if does anybody have any questions about like if you're gonna go do this on your own and you're kind of, any concerns?
I'd like to, I just don't think I have any friends mature enough to actually take it seriously.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for them to cast your face,
Yeah.
I mean, you can cast somebody else's face. I mean, that's totally fine. Just so you're doing it. It'll match up close enough to your face that it's not going to be a huge big deal when you go to make your own type of mask.
When you're doing the full head and then you're going to wear that, do you make a slit up the back or something so you can get it on your head?
Yeah, if it's latex, like a latex mask, yeah, there's usually a slit up the back because it doesn't have a lot of, I mean, it's a stretch, but it's a different, mask latex is different than liquid latex. Liquid latex is it's thinner. That's actually really, really stretchy, but it doesn't have a high tear strength, it just doesn't have a high tear strength. I mean, you can pull it and it will rip. Mask latex, you can't really pull it as far, but it's wicked strong, depending on how thick you cast it. But yeah, for that you got to put a slit up the back if it's a hole pulling it over the head. There's like half masks are two different things. Half masks are either literally this half or this half, so it's a whole head, but it's up to here. Usually a full mask, you say like all the way to here. Like that's like a full mask that you pull over and you have the slit up the back. The ones that just go over the head, I don't put a slit up the back unless it's a really tight mask for some reason, but usually they're sculpted big enough that you can just pull them over your head and you're good, and you just pull them right back off. For foam latex, you don't have, it's, the process to put a foam latex mask on is actually, you usually have, it's good to have a bald cap on for that, and you take a plastic bag with a hole cut out, or just a plastic sheet, and you have it over you, and you take baby powder, and you put it all around here, and you have the sheet on top of your head, and then you put baby powder in the foam latex mask, and you pull it on, and like that has like a nice, it like slides it, because the latex will push against each other, so like you won't really be able to get on. But when you do that, you pull it on, and then you just pull the plastic out, and you have your foam latex mask on. Yeah, we do it for like creature effects, like for a full creature. And that's usually the face is exposed for that. So when you pull it over, then your face is exposed, and then from there you overlap your appliances on top of whatever the cal is. I know I know there's a lot of.
The actor is getting really hot and confined.
They definitely get they definitely will get hot, but that's why foam latex is still a good choice for crazy creature stuff like that, because foam breathes. You know, it's not cutting off. You're gonna get hot, and you're not gonna be able to. Your skin's not gonna be able to breathe, but it will. Like it's got room to.
The Iron Man suits had their own interwoven cooling system.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are insane. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, those are the big boys. They can they can put whatever they want in that stuff. But for just straight foam latex, yeah, it's just it will get hot no matter what. It'll get hot in there. All right, I'm gonna leave this alone. So
In the next class, you're gonna sculpt the face. Are you making a T-shirt out of it?
I don't know what I'm gonna make. I'll brainstorm that. Yeah, I'll try to figure out what I want to sculpt. I'm not gonna do a zombie. I'm gonna do, I don't know, maybe something kind of creepy. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll show you like kind of like a lot of the sculpting. I'd like to do it. What I'd like to do is, depending on if I take this one back, I might take another head. I might use one of my own faces, like another face that I have, depending on what they want to do with this. And I'll kind of have it like pre-sculpted a little bit to the point where it's getting close to being done, because I'd like to show you guys how the two-piece mold goes. So like it'll be close to being sculpted all the way, and then I'd like to show you how to do this, because that's where you can lock stuff. So I'd like to show you how that works so you don't lock your molds and stuff like that. But I do want to show you the sculpting. I want to show you some techniques and roughing out stuff. So maybe, I'll see. I'll talk to Joe and Jill. Maybe we can kind of figure it out a little bit. Because I'd like to show, I can always bring one that shows you how to just, because I have enough extra faces at my place that I can kind of maybe show you how to rough out a sculpt. But the other ones will be closer to being, I can mold this. But at least you can kind of see how stuff's going to be roughed out and how I go about doing sculptures and stuff like that.
Olga's the lead actress in our film Dollmaker, so we have a double use for this mold he's making, because that's prosthetics for an actual film.
Yeah, so I may not use this for the mask because this might be used more for that. But I have another face that I can bring in, and I don't know. I'd like to bring in like maybe a face or two, so one's like almost done, and I can show you the mold or show you how to mold it. But the other one is just again roughing out, showing you how I go about sculpting something.
We have enough alginate here, so we can give each one of the students some alginate to take home, and probably some ultracal too. So the bandages I think you can get locally, but the alginate's the one thing that you can't get locally. Actually, I drove down to Sheffield. You can get the plaster on the ultracal 30 in Sheffield. There's a pottery place that's actually got clay and that stuff locally. It's 50 miles, but it's cheaper to drive 50 miles than it is to pay the shipping on something.
Yeah.
What kills you, you know?
Yeah.
A 50-pound bag, you know?
Yeah, usually 50 pounds is about $50 shipping.
That's crazy.
It's like $1 a pound. It's crazy.
They're really nice at Sheffield Pottery. They were
Yeah.
sweet.
That's the only, that's the only place I get my plaster from. So yeah. Yeah, I should just
sort of silicone mold that I got a while ago, and that was like fairly small, only about that big. It's two-part liquid mold. Probably cost $30 just to ship it because of the it was considered by New York a special material, so it needed special requirements.
It was already a finished mold.
No,
It was just the materials.
Yeah, it was like the two-part mix.
That's weird.
But it was just stupid expensive to ship it. I remember.
Where did you order it from? Do you remember?
I'll have to find
Because they sell. They sell. You can go right to the source. Smooth On.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
That's what they did that.
Yeah.
That's weird. Because you could. That's weird. Because you can go on Amazon and get Smooth On stuff. And if you I have Amazon Prime, so I get free shipping with everything, and you get a container about the two-part container.
That this was 7 years ago.
Oh, maybe they changed some of the things. Yeah, that's weird because I've never had any issues with silicone being shipped.
Well, I don't know that it was specifically silicone. It was something along those lines where it created sort of a goopy mixture. I remember I accidentally, I was fully covered, but I accidentally somehow managed to get some on my face. And
Oh, yeah.
This wicked rash.
I'm trying to. There's a material that I ordered recently. oh, it was like a spray. It was like an epoxy spray that needed to be shipped separate, special, and it cost a lot just to ship that. So I mean, it might have been something like an epoxy type based thing, because that's, I guess it's a hazardous material that they don't want to ship. You'll know when these are done to pull them out when they've cooled down a little bit. If you still feel a little bit of heat, that's fine. But this is like, right now, I can feel this, and this is pretty hot. So like, this is not ready yet. You go?
And then can you explain what you're gonna do in the third class?
That's going to be painting. It's going to be like all the bunch of different painting techniques. I probably at the beginning, I can kind of show you how I got the latex piece, which is like wicked. That's wicked easy. You're not doing a 2-part clamp mold. You're just using, once you sculpt your piece and you take that mold off of it, and you get that negative of whatever it is that face is. You don't really need this until you want to sculpt a different kind of mask or whatever. It's the negative of whatever it is that you sculpted that you can use now, and just, you basically just pour latex in, you slush it around, make a nice layer, pour it back out, and depending on how thick you want it, you just keep doing that. Yeah, so that's. But I'll probably show at the beginning kind of how that you can do that. So. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a waiting game. There's not much else I can do. This is the part that sucks in terms of making this stuff.
So are you able, with your FX work, is that how you make your living, or do you have to supplement on the side?
Well, yes and no. Usually I supplement on the side, but my supplement is effects related, because I'm making my own masks, I'm selling my own stuff. I sell like lots of different stuff. Like I sell like these little magnets that are like, a lot of it's horror related. But like, yeah, I can sell a zombie bus for a couple $100 and it's, I'm done. So that definitely fills in the gap. I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm making enough to survive. If I want to, I definitely have to move out of this area if I really want to, like, if I want to like start a family or something like that. I can't do that like on what I'm doing right now, but I'd have to move out of this area. But for right now, yeah, I'm good. So.
Unless we build an industry that stays here.
Yeah.
Unless we get, I mean, the goal.
Unless Como took the Syracuse Center and put it here.
Well, you know that was supposed to be here.
It was, yes, but we
It was
got the
supposed to be where the casino is.
instead.
But seeing that I don't know what they're doing with the Syracuse, because it was going to close down. The Syracuse Center, because it never opened. They tried to do some films there, but they haven't actually, because of the issues with graft and corruption. But I heard that they got a new group. They're trying to get a new group to run it. I mean, I argue this all the time. We are 2.5 hours from the second largest film industry in the world. It's not like we're in the middle of nowhere. And in fact, there are places that are in the middle of nowhere comparatively that are doing really well. Like New Orleans was not a film center prior to Katrina. It really took a few films to really come in. New Orleans, after the hurricane, and kind of jumpstart that industry. Atlanta, there's some major film centers that have grown up across the country. So
Making pretty good time,
reason
actually.
Why the capital region, if we're smart, can't. I mean, I've done a survey on tax credits. Very few films that are shot up in this area actually even take advantage of the tax credit system. And there is no minimum amount of money that you can make a film for and actually get 40% of your money back. It's just a matter of making sure you go through the proper application process and things like that. So there's a lot of room that I think, I'm optimistic, but there's a lot of room. We're working really hard to work on with a consortium of Capital Region Film Commissions. So we're trying to promote the region because we know
Take
when
a bag.
someone comes out of the area, they don't care. They don't know what I did with Albany
Oh, that's okay.
or the region. Yeah.
Here. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's going to go well. I mean, I think we have to address the fundamental infrastructure issues and having the right people. There were 2 features last year. The minute you get 2 feature films in the area, we are maxed out crew-wise. And they're pulling people from the city, which is fine. But from what I understand, there's 300 SAG actors in upstate New York, whatever that means. So there are union actors, there are crew, but we have to keep building our bench. We have to have a deep enough bench so that people aren't afraid to come here because they're gonna be short somebody. And a union
It's
will.
kind of a
Correct.
chicken and an egg problem though, is how do you build that kind of infrastructure to get the films here unless you're getting the films here to support that infrastructure?
My only theory is then, is we gotta do two-pronged approach. We have to attract films here, we also have to try to, grow a local film industry
Yeah.
and foster local talent as much as possible so that, and it doesn't take much. Our goal was 10 feature films, that's, the consortium with Capital Region was to do 10 features in the Capital Region a year. That's our long-term goal, maybe it's 3 to 5 years, but we're eventually 10 features, and 10 features that are in the, $5 to $20 million range size features. Right now, we're doing a lot of, Hudson's doing a ton of stuff, so, so that's the goal. So that Jerry can stay, if we do 10 feature films here, and 5 of them are special effects laden, we can keep more than Jake very busy.
Start a family.
Is it really your biggest issue in terms of getting all the features in here, or getting multiple features in here?
Well,
Crew people are the ones you really need.
crew people are, and, when you, see, that's the thing, when you talk about outside productions coming in, outside productions tend to take their key crew from wherever they're from because they know, they can trust. And it's hard to, it's hard not to hire a local director of photography or DP or like that, the higher level key personnel, because you just don't know them. And they all work together, so the DP's gonna hire the gaffer, the grip, and so, you can get to the secondary level that's available around here, but, I think actually if we could build financing and investors and money, I think that's the key long term. I mean, you offer $1 million to any filmmaker in the world will come here,
Yeah.
It's all about money. So, and there's people who invest in real estate and much larger things in the area. So it's just a matter of educating, I think, the people with the money that entertainment can be a profitable way to invest and try to channel some of the regional money, local money. There's money here. There's totally got money.
Yeah.
There's people with bucks up, right? So it's a matter of, and then finding that tipping point. I think it's a tipping point, it's balance.
Yeah.
But it's certainly easier, God, I went to film school, we had to be close enough to a lab. I remember shooting the first indie feature I did was probably in like early 80s, and we had a guy whose entire job was to run dailies to New York City.
Oh, wow,
He
yeah.
had a really fast BMW, and we were shot at Oneonta in the middle of nowhere, and we stopped shooting at 10 o'clock, and he'd load the raw footage in, and put it in the back of the motorcycle, and race down the Duarte on 57th Street, drop the film off, and then take the rest of the film, the stuff we shot the day before, dailies, and then ride back to Oneonta and do this round trip every day.
Wow. Yeah.
Doing, who knows, caffeine and no dose,
Yeah.
right, to keep himself awake on this trip. I'm surprised he made it.
He's probably doing coke is what he's doing.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Right.
But it was a pretty intense thing, so we don't have to do that anymore. We have the internet,
Yeah.
So it's made things change a lot. So, anyway.
Almost there.
There we go.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually getting really hot, which is, it's actually still okay. Like the face is totally solidified by this point. I like to give it just a little bit more before pull it out.
So when are you going to be on Face Off?
I don't know. I haven't seen an open audition. They've been doing like 3 or 4. Well, I think the last couple seasons they've done all-star stuff. I haven't watched that show in forever. If I see another open audition, I'll apply for it. I applied for it once, way back when it first started, and but I like half-assed it and I did it at the last minute. So I can't imagine why they would, But I don't know. As soon as I see an open audition or whatever, I'll probably, it's great exposure, so I'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you're fine. Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you guys want to come and just touch the back. If you wanted to do that one little process of making it maybe like a little bit harder,
Wow.
you could
No wonder.
throw a bag back on top of it, and it would keep it really tighten and keep that heat in there. Every so often, I do that with the full heads. If they're plaster or the ultra cal, I'll take a garbage bag and just throw it over there and just let it, just like a big white mass of nothing.
Yeah, but that's, compared to the previous one where you were still working
Oh,
on the
cool.
roll
Oh,
ridges
cool.
and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff, it's got the beauty coat. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Burn your skin off. So did your brother, after that incident, did he let you do it again to him? I mean, with the
Ever?
correct stuff?
I'm trying to think of which brother I did it to. Yeah, I don't think he'd let me do it again. I think it was my next brother up above me. I did it on him. Yeah,
How
that was
many
it.
brothers do you have?
See
I have 3 older
the
brothers.
previous one where you have
Okay,
basically
yeah.
just the first splash coat on there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Cool.
You can see the difference.
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
the two.
I know. Well, you can see how thin that one is compared to
Yeah.
the next one is pretty.
And working a little bit, and then you see that that's
Okay.
a much thicker coat.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay. Cool. Almost there.
Now, do you do mostly horror, or, because I know you do a lot of horror, but do you do fantasy creatures or kind of Star Trek-y alien creatures?
I'd love to. No. Just recently, I'm in the talks with somebody, but they want to shoot something next year, and not till they pay me, and I'm going to start pre-production. Do I believe that that's going to happen? But they want to do like alien stuff, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. I did a little bit of creature stuff for this movie, Last Frankenstein, but I mean that's still in post. Was that?
Fluffy.
Oh yeah,
You built Fluffy.
I built that like years ago.
Ate my brains out.
Yeah. I like the creature stuff. I like it. I mean, I think it's slowed down a little bit. Zombies are still like so popular, but that's definitely slowed down quite a bit. So I don't do that as much. But yeah, I like the fantasy stuff. I don't think my portfolio has enough. It's got a decent gamut, but I'd like more creature type stuff. And again, like I do stuff. I have like a handful of stuff I can't show right now because the directors don't want me to show it. I have like this crazy creature infestation alien where this guy's like eyes were bulging out and like these tentacles were kind of going into his skin. I may have posted the back of the head because they cut that. But like that's a cool makeup that I did that I can't share right now. Some of the creature stuff from Last Frankenstein, I can't show any of that. Yeah, but I like that stuff a lot. Yeah, I like that. The blood and stuff is cool. Like that has its own. It's just a little bit more nerve-wracking on set because there's no real prep at home other than maybe make an appliance to cover something. I mean, you're on set, and that's when you're worried about whether or not the tubes are going to be okay or whatever. I mean, I got it down pretty much not to a science, but pretty close. So, yeah. But I definitely I'd like to do more of the creature stuff. So this is almost ready.
So how did you get started in films?
Well, when I got out of high school, I started working on just any independent like film that I could get on. I started
How
out
did you find out about them?
I don't know. I knew enough friends. I had one buddy who worked in some independent stuff, and he got me involved with this one project. And then from there, well, back in the day, I used to look on Craigslist a lot. I don't do that as much anymore, just because there's, I don't know. Was that?
Can be shady.
It can. I just don't see much people post as much there anymore, and I have enough people that just contact me that I don't really have to. I have that kind of luxury at this point now that people are getting the whole. I just get emails every couple of weeks asking about something or whatever. So I'm fortunate in that I don't have to look out too much for stuff. But yeah, when I first got out of high school and I was doing stuff, I was scrounging around trying to find whatever. But I also did like a little bit of PA work and some audio. I was doing some audio stuff. I still do audio. I hate it, but every so often I'll do it. If somebody needs help, I don't. But yeah, I just started doing smaller, like little effects. Like I do cuts and bruises on whatever it was, some blood stuff. But yeah, it was pretty much right out of high school. The first horror film that I worked on was right out of high school, and it was about that one. I guess he's considered a serial killer. I don't think he really. Ed Gein. I don't know if you know or heard of him, but it was a movie about that guy, and I did all the effects for that, which is really cool. And it was like pretty crude stuff that I was doing, but it was wicked cool, and I got paid for it. So it was like pretty quickly out of high school, I got paid for a really low budget little film. So
We did Amy's zombie commercial.
Yeah.
yeah, and then we worked on, remember Far From the Heart? We did the gunshots on.
Yeah.
It sucks. I wish we did those gunshots nowadays, because Sean and me have gotten to the point now where they're like so much better than what. I mean, we were literally just taping stuff on Rich, and they were kind of coming out. They were enough to get the effect, but like nowadays, we use like crazy. Yeah. Like, yeah, nowadays we use like plumbers' guns, things to shoot them out, and like compressed air. I mean, it's insane. All right. All right. This is starting to cool down now, so I think we're gonna. Did anybody leave? That's part of the class still. That.
Does everybody know that about cactus auditions? Cactus auditions.
Oh, on Facebook there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Email
no,
us
it's
as well.
email.
There's one on Facebook, isn't there? There's a
It's,
group.
I'm not sure, I know
Could
that there's
be.
definitely the
It's
email.
out of
Yeah.
RPI, but they list there when they're looking for movies, professional movies, and also amateur movies too. List there that they're looking for people to work on, be in, whatever, their films. So it would behoove you, if you're going to get into this seriously, if you want to start getting into it, to start getting emails from them.
Yeah.
It's an RPI thing, you said?
Yes. The RPI theater group is the one who sets it up, runs it.
Man, we gotta clean. We really gotta clean this shit off. Holy shit. This wipes off pretty easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I'm gonna take this out of the mold. We got about 20 minutes left. 4. Okay. Oh, okay. These guys are coming back in.
And marketing, you know, like she just,
All right. If you guys are ready, probably have you come closer. And hopefully I did not jack this up. So it's still a little warm underneath. Maybe I'll do it on this. All right. If you guys want to get closer, I'll do it over this way because I don't want it to tip over or something like that.
I was in folk competition, so that's how I met her. And then from there, my friend Allie, who's in swimming, she's in Portland.
Is everybody good?
She's like super involved with her.
All right. So when you go about taking this off, a little bit of work here. So I usually try to find a spot that's got. So I don't know if you can see this. So this is like kind of a soft spot right here. I lift that, and this will actually start to rip a little bit. I don't think I brought any. I didn't bring any pliers with me. All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to rip at it. So. Pretty much just trying to find the soft spots. This will actually, depending on how hot it got, it'll rip off a little bit in chunks like that.
You're ripping off the bandages.
Yeah, because they're stuck on there. A little bit of the plaster overflow is just keeping it down a little bit, but that's usually not too bad. I forgot to bring some flatheads with me. You just pry at that, but this should like rip right up. All right, I gotta do this in chunks. I try to be a little delicate just in case something for some reason was a little brittle. Should be good though. There we go, it's starting to snap. So, try to do that. Now when I take this off, you're gonna see in the nose area, the plaster is like kind of sticking out. And I'll show you how you gotta clean it off. So this is like, you still gotta do a little bit of work once you pull these, so. Start to rip that. There we go. Can you see? Let's pour that. Delicate. I'm gonna mess with the nose there. There we go. So her nose really isn't like that. I gotta chip it out. I gotta be a little bit more delicate right here, but
That's awesome. Wow.
but that's what the end result is. And then I'll show you in a second here. I'm gonna clean it up.
That's so cool. She does have nice lips.
Yeah, all of a sudden, oh, wow. Yeah. I was under.
Yeah, I didn't bring. I wish I brought pliers with me. This would be a little bit easier. So this little excess stuff is all stuff that I could, like up here. Maybe I can get it. Nope, I can't get that. So as you can see, I'm not gonna mess with this too much because I have a little chisel thing I want to get at. So the next thing you do is, this is a good state that it's at right now to. You can get like a rasp like this. This is what I use. So I'll do it over here. Yeah, actually, that'd be great. Thank you. Thanks. So try to be a little careful. So you just take the rasp and just go through, and I just kind of smooth it out because all these jagged edges are not. You don't want those. And depending on how you did the cast, whatever it is that you're using. Say this is an appliance, and you just want the appliance to be right here. You're not too concerned with this, but if it was going further down, then you want to be careful how you do it. Nobody's got like a handyman or a little handy thing, do they? It's got like pliers or knives and stuff. Yeah. Nobody's got one?
Jared, would you ever make an appliance with something like that with a slit throat?
Yeah, you could.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like it's already split though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We would do that on set or something.
What's that?
On set or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you're hired, to do this, your personal workday, are you pausing right now and then going on to the sculpting another day? Do you break it up, or if you still have energy, you still keep working?
Yeah. When I go to sculpt, yeah, because for this you got to let this cool down. If I try starting, because this will take me. We got about a little bit of 15 minutes or whatever, but this would take me to really, really clean this up and ready for an appliance. God damn it. It would take me another couple hours just to really make it nice and like all these little bumps and little just air pockets. Her nose, it'd take a little bit more time because I want to be delicate because her nostrils, they're great. It's just this obviously came out from where that was, but I have to just be careful when I'm chiseling in there just to pop it out. But yeah, this would take me like maybe another hour to like really get it nice. And if I started this in the morning, the rest of the day I'd jump onto something else and let this cool down. But I usually don't jump on the sculpting until the next day. And then once this is clean too. So let me.
Would you work on the nostrils and like the roughness under the chin? Would you do that now, or would you wait till it's?
I do it now because this hasn't completely cured to the point where it's as hard as it's going to be. So it's got a little give to it, and it's just a little bit more powdered. So like, this is like a little, I think you can get this at like a craft store. This is a little chisel tool that like, I really don't want to mess with the nose because I don't have a hammer or anything with me, but like, you guys can see here, there's a little air pocket, little bump here. I just kind of go quickly, and I take that off like that. I do the same thing on the other side. Some of these you can just like lightly push, and they'll pop right off. Like this one right here, I just pop that off. Pop that off. So for the bald cap, if you want to, for the bald cap, you don't have to do this, but you can take some sandpaper and just smooth that into her line. I like to keep that if I'm doing an appliance, just so I know where my hairline is. But like up here, like that little line, You can go in, smooth it out.
Do these ever freak you out?
What's that?
Do you ever get freaked out?
No, not really. I don't. There we go. No, I don't. It doesn't creep me out. It only creeps me out if I have like a body or something that's nearby, and I turn like this, and I think somebody's standing there for a second. But like the heads themselves, just all. I don't know, I'm so used to it. I don't care. But there we go. So I try to get all that crap off.
How much do you sell your pre-made masks for that you were saying earlier?
It depends. I try to stay in a range of like $50 to $100 just for depending what kind of mask it is. The busts that I make, like display busts, those sell for a few $100s just because they're foam filled. They're kind of made to like be displayed. So like big horror people, like if they have them there, their DVD collection, stuff like that. So that's what those go for. Here's another little tool, like for the eyebrows here. So you see how the Vaseline, it caught like a little bit. There's like a little bit of bumps and stuff there, but for the most part, it didn't really catch it. It just kind of glazed over it or whatever. But I'll take like a little tool like this and just be like, be gentle. And the reason, and this is another reason why I do it right away, is because you can see it kind of like powders off a little bit. There's nothing, if you can't get to it right away and you need to like do it the next day, it's not the end of the world. You'll still be able to do what you need to do. I just like to hit it right away. So that's kind of that. I really don't.
Jared, can I interrupt you really quick?
Yeah.
If we want to give each person their own portion, is that too much? Or is that about right?
What is that? What is that?
The alginate.
Oh, pour that back out and give it to me. I can measure exactly what we need.
Okay.
Because I know how much. It's 8 ounces.
Oh, it's 8 ounces?
Yeah.
Oh, is that good?
I got a scale over here if you guys want to use it.
Oh, wait, by weight.
By weight, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Why don't you give them the scale, because they're working on it now and they can measure.
Jared, how do you clean out your,
One
this
area.
bucket, you're gonna use this bucket again? And
Yeah.
that other, the bucket
I
that
just
you used
I let it dry, and then I'll crack it. A technique that I didn't really do, that I usually do on my buckets, is you take, to make it easier, whenever they dry out, they'll pop out a lot easier. Just take Vaseline on a brush and just go through your bucket and just Vaseline the whole bucket, because it's not going to affect the plaster at all. It does, before you put the plaster in water and stuff, and that's a nice little tidbit.
Okay.
When you do the mixing, you don't end up mixing the Vaseline in?
It's not going to do anything. No, I've been doing that for years. It's never done anything. So there's lots of different, I love this rasp tool. This is like a $5, $6 rasp tool. I have like some heavy duty ones, like a metal one, and I use it, it's got a round finer sander on one side and a rougher one on the other. It's round, and it's got a flat, softer one, and then a flat, rougher one. And I use that for like spots right here that are a little bit harder to get with this. So I have a couple different rasp tools, but this will get most of whatever it is that you're doing off. And you mainly do this for, well, you do it to keep the mold clean, but yeah, to clean up everything that's all crap you don't need. So that was almost the whole class from start to finish, 3 hours of doing, starting with the face, and then going all the way, getting this out of the mold. And that's just the start of doing this stuff in terms of like, if you're doing a prosthetic, that's just the first step that you have to do. And that's 3 hours right there.
And how long does it take, well, I know it will vary, but roughly, how long does it take for your sculptural work?
It depends how perfectionist I'm getting, and it depends on time frame for the project. because I can sit there forever and do little pours and like really like, you know, but if I know that something's going to be shown for like 5 seconds and it's going to be panned by quickly, I'm not going to do that. Like I don't need to do that. Like I did these heads recently, and when I was telling you before about doing the clay, pouring the clay into the alginate mold, when you pull those out, you have the same thing like Olga here, where I have to go in, and it's clay, so it's a lot easier, but I have to go in, carve that out, smooth that out, clean it up so it's a normal face again before I mold it. And wait, what were we saying? What was the question?
How long does it take you to do your?
Oh, for the sculpting stuff. So I did all that and I cleaned it up, and even though it's not like my sculpture, I mean this is I'm working off of stuff that I've used to make that material. There's still clay in here, and like if I was to do Olga's ears never come out right whenever you pour in clay. They just don't. There's too many air pockets. So I have to go back in and completely like, I use whatever frame is left there, but I have to go back in and sculpt their ears. But like I was saying before is like for time management and different stuff like that, I know what the shot's gonna be. And if I know the back of the head is not gonna be seen, I'm not gonna sit there and worry about skin texture that bad and do it. I'm gonna do it enough so there's a little bit of a texture there, but I'm not gonna sit there and like try to put these pores in and put the lines in the back of the neck in. It's just not worth it. Now the perfectionist part of me would totally want to do that, but
We get efficient, we always get efficient at the end. Okay, well, thank you.
oh, see you, man. Yes. I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about once you get it out of the stone. Once you get the stone process done. Mainly, it's just a little bit of grunt work here, just trying to clean this crap up.
Good enough.
So like right here is a little difficult.
Why are you, if you, this is basically just something to make for aesthetics.
Yep.
So why do you care how aesthetic it is?
What do you mean?
The work that you're doing now around the edges.
Well, for a few different reasons. One, if I'm trying to pull this out of a mold and I have a snag here and I cut my finger, this is all rough and sharp stone. So like I could just sit there and cut my finger right there. It's easier handling. I have an easier way of handling it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely for this stuff, if this was prosthetic, none of this can be here because this is going to affect the appliance. So you'll have a bump inside the appliance.
Absolutely.
But for what we're doing for the masks, this is still, it's still got to all go. It's all got to go. It's got to be smoothed out. Yeah. And the masks will be a little bit different. Those will be, we're going to probably use, since I'm not doing an appliance, we'll probably end up using like flatheads to kind of pry it out of the mold because there'll be enough clay from the way I'm going to tell you guys how like I would sculpt for a half mask.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't really need that. But like spots like here, whenever you do your sculpture, are going to get a little nicked up because once you put your pry points in here and you pry it out of the mold to get your negative, like it'll hit that up a little bit. But yeah, I mean I clean this up because I don't want to cut myself, and it makes it easier for handling. It gets in the way of sculpting. I want everything nice and smooth, so it's not my way for doing all the sculptures and stuff. And I have multiple rasps and different things, so like right here, it's a hard spot to get in. Like I can't get in here, so I have a rounded rasp that I'll go in there for. All this stuff in here, this can all be done with little tool chip things. Anything metal will work. So going in through here in metal, just gotta be very, very, very light-handed. You don't want to be heavy-handed while you're going in through here. And then again, because this doesn't have to be exact, and even when I do appliances, I will take it. So like she's got a little bit of air pocket. Well, not even air pockets. A little bit of raise from where her eyebrows are, and you just take this, and you just sand it right down. Because the last thing you want to do too is when you're using a tool, is you're just trying to get this stuff off. You know, so you don't want to like.
Go into this.
So when you go like this, you want to go like, you know, you just want to kind of pop it, because if you dig into it, you're just going to be digging into this whole thing. And for the most part, it's pretty forgiving. It wants to kind of pop off there. See, like that. Yeah, see, they just pop right off. I don't really have any spots to show you, because this cast came out really well. But if you have like an air pocket, so there's like a little bit of a, no, that's not even an air pocket. So say like right here, there's an air pocket. And by that, I mean it divots in. You can get epoxy filler. So like they use it, you can use it for, I think you use it for plumbing and stuff like that. It comes